Hello and welcome back, guys. My name is Noel. I'm here in Las Vegas with Andrew at Blue Halo. They have been developing a very specific niche target but highly important technology. Andrew, what are you unveiling this weekend here?
So we're showing off our vestibular rehab device. So basically it's a VR game. It's a gamified rehab, right?
Okay.
So it's a VR situation where we give you an M4 rifle because it's designed to be used by members of the military, people that are familiar with those weapons and stuff like that. And the idea is to put them through scenarios that engage their vestibular system, start to trigger those symptoms that will that normally give them issues. And we also have cognitive tasks that they do that basically layer. They do cognitive tasks while they're experiencing those vestibular systems, and ideally that's what gives them therapy, right? So we currently have it in a study right now with military members, and so far they're showing promising results of improving their symptoms. So.
Now, for those who don't know, when you're talking about vestibular issues or things that how does that affect one? How does one possibly have their vestibular system affected?
Yeah, so the particular population that we're dealing with is with TBIs, so people that have had traumatic brain injuries, and then that has then impacted their vestibular system, and how that usually presents is dizziness, nausea, vertigo, things like that. Things that would be obviously bad for an operational, special operator or something like that.
Okay, so and the system that you have will put them through certain activities that will trigger that if they and then once you guys get that data, then you can start working on rehabilitation of that.
Well, the actual game itself is the rehab, right? So the data is more to show improvement over time, so we can actually track, what is your baseline when you start? How is it when you're done with the study? Are you improving in the middle? What exactly are those metrics that show that you improve? Because we're tracking everything that the user's doing in the experience. So, and part of the study is to find out which of those metrics actually show improvement.
Okay. Now, we're talking about rehab. Now, are we helping those individuals to? Because are we talking about individuals that that had the issue, that had the injury, and then now you're going through the rehab in order to go back to your family and back into society, back doing regular things, or are we talking about rehabbing those individuals to go back in the field?
Yeah, so that one specifically. So I mean, ideally the product we hope one day could be used in in civilian applications as well, and really just as vestibular therapy in general. I mean, but currently it's being done with soldiers, and the goal is to get them ready to go back to duty because most of them were medically forced out of their units because there are issues, and so we want to be able to get them back in.
Now, is there a reason why you guys have the
radio to the left?
Yeah, have to go versus having the prompts be like right on the
Great question. So basically, when you look to your left, it's specifically designed to engage your vestibular system. It'll trigger those symptoms if you have an issue with it. And so, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to trigger those symptoms and have you push through that by doing cognitive tasks. And ideally, that's what's giving you the therapy.
Got it.
So it's an ongoing study, right? So I mean, I can't say whether anything's conclusive at this point, but I will say that our usability studies, almost across the board, everybody that has used the system has said that they enjoy it. One, it's better than their traditional rehab that they had to do, and three, they seem to be at least getting better at the system itself. So it's showing improvement of their symptoms, at least localized to that system, right? So we haven't obviously sent them back out to their units, and they haven't really been able to see if they're totally healed or anything like that. But within the short amount of time that we've worked with them, they've definitely shown improvement.
Now that system that you guys have, I just tested it on the M4 rifle, which was pretty interesting. Can that system be adapted to different other activities, not just sports? Let's say a golfer had an issue, or a football player, or something like that. Can your system be adapted to other?
Yeah. So I mean, with VR vestibular therapy, the important thing is that what we're doing is we're engaging your vestibular system while you're in a VR space. It doesn't matter whether you do that with a rifle or a football or a hockey stick or whatever. So currently we don't have any other solutions, but we're very interested in basically creating individualized solutions for different populations.
So before I go, what is the environment? Where would you guys like to have this technology be implemented? Like in a hospital and rehab center? Are you guys going to create individual rehab centers that people comes to, or just provide that technology to existing military rehab departments and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, we would love to supply to existing rehab centers. Unfortunately, like right now, it is pretty limited to a clinician environment, only because, you know, part of it is when you put on this headset, you are triggering those symptoms, and it's not necessarily safe to be triggering dizziness, nausea, and stuff like that when you're in a headset. So that's why we like to do it in a clinical setting where, you know, we're still monitoring all this stuff. So you know, that is definitely the avenue, and we're really trying to get into the VA and things like that at this point.
Awesome, perfect. Yep. Well, hey Andrew, thank you very much. Thank you for speaking with me. Good luck with everything, and yeah, let's change lives, right? That's what we're doing. Awesome.
Thank you.